Hi guys, good night. God bless you. Welcome to your daily reading. Today's reading is for Tuesday, November 26th. Okay. Let's jump right in. Yay, I'm excited. All right. So first of all, I'd like to say that looking at these cards here, this looks like a chalkboard to me. I got the impression that it's a chalkboard. So I do feel that Spirit is definitely coming through with some kind of lesson. And it's interesting that I said that because the last card that I pulled, one of the last ones was this. Because I thought, okay, if this is a chalkboard, then who is it that we are going to be hearing from? And I just thought, okay, let me pull from the Archangel Gabriel cards, by Doreen Virtue, God bless. And it says, share your art with the world. So I was like, oh, wow, okay, well, let's talk about it. And the card right under that just happened to be this card, classes. So, that was probably a little bit of confirmation. Let's see if we can get a little bit more lighting. Yeah, sorry guys about the lighting. You know. I'm always apologizing about it, but I'm gonna learn to live with it. All right, there we go. Maybe all right. It looks the same. Okay, so. Let's jump right in. I am going to start by reading the notes that Spirit gave me before I laid the cards. It's on my computer. All right, so what I got from Spirit is, number one, open it up to Spirit to work miracles in your life. And I thought they were talking to me, so then I started saying a quick prayer, and then I realized, oh, no, they want it to be for this reading. So let's say the prayer together. All right. So, dear God, thank you so much for being here with us. We know that you go by many names, by many forms, by many ideas, but at the end of it all, you are all that is, the great I am, to which we belong. And we just want to say thank you so much for being in our lives. Thank you so much for giving us purpose, for existence. Thank you so much for holding us even when we feel that we are so alone and that no one else is here with us. Aw, I feel my angels and guides hugging me now. Thank you so much for our angels and our guides and just our entire spirit team, all the people in the non-physical holding it down for us, as well as those in the physical. Thank you so much for all of the people, places, things, situations that, we owe a lot of credit to that we may not even recognize. We're so, so, so grateful for that. And we ask, please, that you do work miracles in our lives, and we ask that we be open to it, and you help us to be open to it, even if it's just giving us a little bit of a kick in the buns to learn how to open to you and miracles. We'll take it. Anything to get started on that path. And I personally am definitely open to whatever miracle you want to work in my life, God, because whatever I've been doing has not been working. And I would love to have more abundance in my life. I'd love to have more comfort in my life. I'd love to have more friendship in my life, and not just regular friendships, but more intimacy where I can really show who I am and not be rebuked or not have any fear of abandonment or rejection, dear God, so that I may be open on a very spiritual level to be able to share myself with the world and not only my art. And I'm sure the same goes for a lot of you guys. All right? Now, that's interesting that those words came out of my mouth, guys, because the next set of information that Spirit gave me is this: be calm and collected in all matters to do with the spiritual, whether it's remote viewing into the future, to taking, or all the way to taking a tumble down the rabbit hole with more investigative pursuits. Now, what do they mean by that? This is all verbatim. However it's channeled, I give it to you. Basically, they're saying, don't be over sensationalizing things, don't do too much, just take the middle passage, just be balanced, be as calm and collected as you can in anything to do with the spiritual, because the spiritual, a lot of it is a mystery, and it will remain a mystery to us. And that being said, as with anything that is mysterious, anything that is new, it is always best to take a very balanced and neutral approach and objective approach to whatever it is that we're doing. They also are trying to say that It doesn't matter what it is that you're doing related to the spiritual, whether you're like full on sitting down and remote viewing into a future landscape, into the future of times, or whether you're doing something like they called it taking a tumble down the rabbit hole with more investigative pursuits. To me, that looks like whether you're getting involved in conspiracy theory, looking into things like Illuminati, black magic, whether you're just looking in the phenomenon phenomena that's out there, what ET stuff, whatever it is that you are tumbling down the rabbit hole with. Keyword investigation, investigative pursuits. They're saying be calm and collected. That means being calm means knowing that whether or not you get the answers that you seek, you're going to be fine. Being in this middle passageway where it's like, I'd love to know, but if I don't know, or if I can never know, or if it's not for me to know, or if it's not safe for me to know, then that's fine. Also knowing that you will always know what you need to know in order to do your spiritual contract. And so if something is not made available to you, then please know that that's the way it should be, and you need to be okay with that. So that's where they mean be calm. But being collected also means don't get your energy all over the place, right? If you want to sit down and do some research or into things, or watch YouTube videos about the Illuminati and what all those things, which, dear God, let's be honest, it's out there, okay? They out there. But if you want to sit there and do that kind of pursuit, you need to get to a place of being neutral, calm and collected. Be collected. When you're collected, there's a reason why a lot of these words are used to describe states of being. That's because your being, your energy field, is in a certain place. So if you're falling apart, what do you think your energy looks like? If you're all over the place, what do you think your energy looks like, right? If you're beside yourself with grief, what do you think your energy looks like? That's you literally out of your body and standing next to yourself a little bit, right? Dissociation in a sense. So when they say be collected, they mean bring it all in, center yourself, ground yourself, and from that place of foundation, knowing that you are trying to accomplish a spiritual pursuit, but you don't really need to get attached to the results or the outcome. That's a very strong place to be. Yes, you may wonder, well, don't I need to be very committed to what I'm doing in order to get something back? Actually, the standpoint that I would take, if I were you, God bless, which I'm not, but God bless, is that I would say I'd love to know. It would be great to know and to understand, just from my personal knowledge, what this is, or why this happens, or how to do this. And then, of course, get yourself grounded and then start trying to do that. But if the answer doesn't come to you, it's funny, they brought my eyes right here. Okay, these two cards literally. If the answer doesn't come to you, then you know what? Accept that. Acceptance is at the heart of everything. Look at this. Receive. This lady here is saying there is knowledge. She's saying trust, that there is always an answer to your knowledge. Always. Or to your questioning. Always an answer. Look at this. That's the answer. She's also showing that it's inside of you. See how the rose and that answer? It's the same thing. They're saying you have the answer inside of you. Whatever it is that you seek is already inside of you. If you are being blocked from it, it could be because you have certain blocks within your energy field to retrieving that answer. And see, like this. And so therefore, this guy's filled with anger and repressed feelings, right? God bless him, right? And so there are blockages within us that if we choose the path of healing, those blockages will be removed, they will be healed, and that would open us up to a place to being able to recall a lot of the information that we are seeking, right? To even be able to step into better spiritual abilities, all sorts of stuff. But she's saying that a lot of times the answer's inside, and the answer's there for you to receive, but you have to do the healing so that you can reach to that state of being, so that you can reach to that state of being unblocked, so that the answer can flow, because it's all energy. But she's also bringing through another idea here. Sometimes the answer is actually being blocked from you on purpose. See how cute little unicorn person, unicorn is there? They're blocking. Why? Because they see these two butterflies in the distance. To me, they look like a little bit of an, I don't want to say evil source, but let's keep it real. a really negative source. And sometimes you're blocked from certain information for a reason. All right, let's put it that way. Sometimes if you have access to certain information, it could lead you down a path that is not conducive to you fulfilling your spiritual contract. It can expose you to things that you wouldn't be able to deal with, and you shouldn't have to, because it's not even necessary on your path. So there are many times where the answer will just be no, and you just have to accept that. However, they're saying give it a good faith effort, right? If there's something that you're just itching to find out about, or itching to be able to experience, whether it's lucid dreaming, OBEs, out of body experiences, whether it's remote viewing, automatic writing, channeling, energy healing, learning about the Illuminati, looking for shapeshifters, connecting with extraterrestrials, knowing about extraterrestrial civilizations, all sorts of stuff, whatever it is that and you know what, craziness, you can find all that on the YouTube. Though I wouldn't trust every source out there, God bless. Anyway, but they're saying, go ahead and do your research. Try, have fun with it. But if you find your path blocked, do the core working. Do the inner work. And if after you've done the inner work, and for whatever reason, if you just find your path just being blocked in the physical, it could be because you are just being blocked from it. So either way, it still turns you inward. Either way, they're saying that's not a reason to just keep going gung-ho. Sometimes your path is blocked for a reason. And either way, you got to do the inner work. So that's, where you're at. Now, I could be wrong. This is me, Jonelle. But sometimes I get a little suspicious when I see a lot of those brainwave things on YouTube. The love frequency and the spirit frequency. And then, honestly, no shade to people who are doing those things, but I'm sorry guys, I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, because sometimes from my standpoint, the things I see and the information I get, I'm just like, I don't trust a lot of stuff, okay? And sometimes when people are saying, well, I'm doing a video and this is going to unlock this for you, and it's the brainwave thing, and the this, and the abundance, and the healing, and the... Sometimes, I don't know, who knows who that is behind there, and when they're programming that stuff and you're just remaining open to it and just sitting there for an hour at a time and just letting these things this energy come into your brain and fashion it, and I don't know, guys, call me a conspiracy theorist, which a lot of my friends do, God bless, but I just feel like you do have to guard yourselves a little bit more, especially if you don't see, you just get the music and there's no conversation between you and the person. Thank you, Spirit is saying that's it. Okay, maybe I'm onto something. If you go on a website and they're 420 hertz or just whatever, those binaural beats and all of that, and there's no connection between you and the person doing the video. It's just a whole bunch of people commenting oh, thank you, I needed this. Oh, God bless you forever. And oh, this is just what I needed. And sometimes we don't realize that we might be opening ourselves up to just somebody programming stuff, or just something that's maybe not so good for us. You should always know where you are. This even says be here now. Be in the present and know you have everything that you need. And I'm not saying all of the people who do publish those things are not, good and they're not whatever, but YouTube is a big forum. As much as we don't trust Facebook, you have to understand that maybe there are people on YouTube that we can't trust. We know about trolls in the comments, but what about the people posting stuff? If you're not seeing a face, if you're not you don't see my face, but I connect with you guys, and if you just are there and it's just you and you're just putting stuff into your brain like that, I would just be a little bit mindful. It's interesting because the next part that Spirit said is let the information flow without overwhelming you, knowing that you are in full control at all times and can choose to close off to Spirit, close off that flow. A lot of times we do it unknowingly, right? They're saying wear protection at all times. Don't just go flying by the seat of your pants. And the reason, I think, breaking down what they're trying to bring through for us in that message is energy is information is energy. And so when you delve into these things, when you open yourselves up in a to spirit in whatever way you're doing it, they are saying know that you're in full control at all times, and you can choose to close it off. Meaning, if you start listening to some of those binaurals, or you're listening to something else with robot voice, and they're just saying that this and like robot voice is a turn off for me. If you guys know me already, no shade if someone is real and legitimate and doing robot voice and it's real, but anyway. But if you're listening and you start to like get this creepy feeling like, is this real, or should I be doing this? Then just in that moment, follow your guidance and stop whatever it is that you're doing. Turn it off, switch to something else. The thing I always do to reset myself if I get a little overwhelmed with anything, I go and I quickly watch a very funny, mindless comedy. May I suggest, especially the early episodes of early seasons of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, okay? Just mindless humor. I love Big Bang Theory. I know a lot of people disagree, but these are ways to just... Comedy is so good because they're not trying to sell you on anything. They're not trying to emotionally hijack you to feel certain ways. They're not trying to put drama in your life. They're not trying to be shocking to you. It's just humor, and at the end of the day, their goal is always the same: to shock you into laughing, to make you laugh at the mindless, whatever it is, right? And so that's a really great reset button, and laughter is proven to raise your energy. It's like medicine, you've heard, right? And so anytime you feel yourself overwhelmed with whatever it is you're doing, you stop. You remember that you are in full control. Yeah, they're saying that's it. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, cosign. Get grounded. Make sure you put your both feet on the ground. You feel your feet on the ground. You feel into your body. You know that you're here, and your physical body's there. Feel your energy field. See it closing off to everything that is not of the light. Ask for your angels to surround you, and let love be able to permeate this shield, but nothing else, right? And just let them help you out, and then watch some good comedies. I mean, the kind of comedies that make you laugh your butt off. For me, that's definitely Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Big Bang Theory, early seasons especially, before space, when Howard went to space. Anything before then is just game. My favorite one is, I think it's called the Leopold experiment? It's the one where Sheldon had a cousin, Leopold. My favorite episode, hands down. The movie There's Something About Mary made me laugh my butt off completely. Bridesmaids, lots of SNL ones. You should check out the SNL skit. What's it called? It's called Ladies Game Night with Adie Bryant, Cecily Tyson. What am I saying? Cecily. Yeah, Cecily Tyson. I don't know, whatever. Bill Hader, right? The other two, their names are Villaseñor, and there's another one, their names are escaping me. Shout outs. But anyway, these are funny things. They make you laugh. And when things make you laugh, they take you out of the mode of being dramatic and scared and this and that, okay? So please wear protection at all times, they said. That means before you even get into spirit, you got to suit up. Put that bubble of light, say your prayers. Prayers are underrated, guys. Say your prayers, set your intentions, call your angels and guides in, have them snuggle around you, huddle up, all good stuff. And they said, don't just go flying by the seat of your pants. Like, who does that, right? Now, the way that they said that, look, they said, let the info flow without overwhelming you, knowing that you are in full control at all times and can choose to close off the spirit, negative spirit, all that kind of stuff. Wear protection at all times. Don't just go flying by the seat of the pants. As I was writing that, as they were telling me, it started to feel kind of sexual. So I wanted to say, I thought they were going to say something about like, oh, some of you are having too much unprotected sex, but what actually the next line that they said is spirit can be an ecstatic experience for some. So set your boundaries as you would with your physical body, and always, they really want to send this one home. I know some of you will disagree with me, but I just want you to know you're not disagreeing with me because I have no opinion. I'm just a channel, okay? And personally, I choose to go with my guides and what they said. They said, where is it? Always be in your right mind when you open yourself up to communicate with spirit. Avoid intoxication of any sort. And I know everyone's like, but hold on. What about ayahuasca and all this? Listen, I don't know. You need to open up to your angels and guides. That's all there is to it. I'm just giving the message, and that's what they're saying. So they're saying spirit can be an ecstatic experience. So some people get into it like it feels good, and they just open up completely, especially those who may be okay with relinquishing control and kind of, they're saying that's it, and they're just like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that, I'm gonna try this, and they just let it go. They relinquish control like that. What happens is, what you're actually doing, that's like synonymous with kind of like, walking outside and just being like, all right, everybody, whoosh, clothes off, do with me as you will, right? And that doesn't make sense in the physical, so why would you do it in the non-physical? Especially, at least in the physical, you could see someone coming towards you. In the non-physical, you don't see it until it's happening, okay? And so they're saying, set your boundaries as you would with your physical body, and always be in your right mind when you open yourself up to communicate with spirit. And I was like, but wait, do you mean alcohol? Obviously not alcohol. Obviously alcohol. Do not drink and then channel. Do not drink and do meditation and all that, because you're just lowering your vibration. Number one, these are low vibe substances. They're not saying don't drink and don't do these things, but they're saying if you're trying to have a spiritual experience, if you're trying to connect, they actually said trying to connect, and I didn't include that, but it's really like when you open yourself up to communicate with spirit, and when you try to connect with spirit, because a lot of people try to connect, and instead of sitting down and meditating and trying to just use what they have, they may use substances to do so. And yes, of course, those things will open you up, and they do open you up. They are good channels, but you can't just do that without people, for reals guides, okay? You can't, because what's happening is you may activate certain things in your field, certain things in your brain chemicals that just whoosh, and then you have no control over it. And what happens is you get all kinds of attention in non-physical. You attract certain things. You may confuse yourself. You may pick something up and not even know it. Ooh, sorry. that's my messenger. Anyway, you may pick something up and not even know it. All sorts of craziness, guys. So, long story short, and I'm seeing this here. Look at this beautiful hummingbird connecting through plants, right? And look. Sorry, I'm telling you to look, but the lighting is not the best here. I'm like trying to make it lighter by pressing here, but I need to press the screen. All right, hold on. All right, look at this. Look how lit this guy is. His eyes are dilated, right? So he's accessing this plant, and look at him. He's so lit. He's so psychedelic up, shroomed up, ayahuasca up, whatever you want to call it. That he's radiating. He's high right now. This hummingbird is high as yeah. You know what I was gonna say. He's high AF. Look at the dilated eyes. And Spirit is pointing out that he's not even connecting with the little part. The way my spirit eyes look, it's like he's supposed to connect with that part with his mouth, whether or not in real life that's what he's supposed to do. But he's like missing it. He's not using it correctly. And they're pointing and they're showing, this looks pre-Columbian, ancient American. When we think about those places where you can do things like hallucinogenics and things, ayahuasca being one of them. Look at that. They're saying those people knew how to work it. They knew how to use it. They were shamans. They were gifted, they're saying. And not only is the adjective, but as the passive verb, sorry, I teach English. They were gifted this knowledge by beings that knew how to use the land as well. And so a lot of people, they just go down there and they just try to have these experiences. They get some 2-bit person, 2-bit hustler to be like, to help them. And, a lot of times they open themselves up to things and they do it wrongly. And see how this thing is like, it's like this, it's ready to stab them in the back right now. It's like, right? And so what they're trying to say is be careful, because you don't know what you're opening yourself up to. You have to do things in a certain way. You shouldn't fly by the seat of your pants. I know just because it's easy to do in the spirit, in the physical, just find a guy, and find some time and bada bing, bada boom, you got it, doesn't mean it's something you should be doing. Because I'm seeing this while he's high and intoxicated and having this experience, being so beautifully colored, feeling the colors, melding with things, being everything and nothing all at once. And this thing is coming right, and I see it like almost like getting in and like just coming back out and just kind of like tearing a hole in this auric field and all sorts of stuff. And so if anybody is planning to go on a trip right now to do something like this, because it's interesting Spirit would talk about this, maybe it's for someone in particular, right? I don't even know if it has anything to do with the rest of the reading, but because these are just what came through. It could be personal messages. If somebody is planning to do that right now, yeah, so be careful. They could be for you, that message. So be careful. As they said, avoid intoxication of any sort, okay? The next line that they said comes right after that, and they said, the training wheels are off, all right? I was like, what does that mean? Why did it be so cryptic? The training wheels are off. So in a sense, though, meaning that I took away from that, the training wheels are off, and I just checked the time. It said 25 minutes, 52 seconds, 2552. Oh, 52. Whoa. Let's check that card. The training wheels are off. What I got from that is that you've been warned, and we're at a time now where we have to start being responsible for ourselves. We know that, guys. Spirit has been saying that for like the last few days, at least through my readings. You have to start being responsible for yourselves. Treat the non-physical body, the energetic fields as you would your physical. You learn about your physical body, you protect it, you clothe it, you do all of those things, you beautify it. Why don't you do that for the non-physical? How many of you are out there learning about your auric fields? How many of you know how many energetic bodies we have? How many of you know anything beyond the chakras, right? Things like that. This is pertinent information for us because we need to learn that, because how could we protect something that we don't know about, and then we engage in things that affect us? So I remember reading who was it? I don't remember who, but they were talking about how might have been Barbara Ann Brennan. Oh my God, she's just so great. Anyway, and they were talking about how things like anesthesia stay in the body, in the energetic field for years afterward. Surgery does as well. You could see it in the energetic field, all sorts of stuff. So the things that we are imbibing, the things that we're doing, they may work themselves out of the physical, but they're in your energetic field for quite some time. So you have to have good spiritual care is their point. I'm looking for my book here. Hold on. Okay, so I just got up to get this book. Barbara Ann Brennan, I don't know if a lot of you guys know her or knew of her. This is her book, Hands of Light, A Guide to Healing Through the Human Energy Field. She's great. Forward by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Get it? So Barbara Ann Brennan is amazing, full of illustrations, by the way. She used to work with NASA. She came from a completely scientific background, came into her spiritual mission, which basically was to become a healer and to teach. So this is great. This is a book for anybody who wants to become a healer, but it's also good for you to understand the non-physical body. Why I love this book in particular is because look at the illustrations that she uses, okay? It's a breakdown showing you like the different energetic fields. This is your etheric body, the emotional body, mental body, astral body. So the way she does it, the way she has the artist do it, is that it shows us what it looks like through spiritual eyes. Look at this. So if you're looking at somebody's etheric, or I think that might be the first or second level of the field. I need to freaking read it, right? If you're looking at them at that level of the field, they're going to look like this, for example, right? So I love that. She also looks at gives examples of what somebody's body may look like when they're ill, right? What the solar plexus chakra looks like disfigured, for example. Looks what a tear looks like, including the colors. This person it says blocks in aura show as dark colors, right? So hernia shows as a tear on the 7th level of the aura. So they show all of that. And then they show this person, same person, getting healing, right? She uses chelation and all sorts of good stuff. It just shows what it looks like after. It's great. There are other books that she's done as well. I think her second one is, oh my God, I just had it in my mind. I can't remember, but if you're interested in that kind of stuff, look at it. But one of the things that she had mentioned, which I thought was very interesting, is she talked about that she looked at, or she introduced us to what the auras look like during therapy sessions, because she could see that. She could see it. And here's one she did for, and I don't want to trigger anybody, but, you know, look at these. Anger, how anger looks when it's expressed. And look at this one. So somebody who may sniff too much cocaine, for example, she said this is what it looks like on the etheric field. It's like a mucus look like that, right? So so sometimes we don't know what's going on in our non-physical body. We want to educate ourselves. This is what an 11-year-old child looks playing. Super cute, right? Anger turned inward, right? Anger being expressed. So if you've ever like been talking to someone, that actually happened to me once. I was talking with somebody and they were mad, not at me. They were mad and, you know, it's almost like something shot straight out of her and straight into my chest, and I felt it. It felt like a spear that went straight deep into my chest, and like I felt it almost physically, and I literally tried to spend the whole day trying to take this thing out of my chest, and finally it came out. So then later, years later, I saw this book and I realized, oh, that's what happened. So long story short, Spirit is trying to, and now here comes that 52 card. I was like, is that card coming in? Spirit is trying to show us, look how multicolored this beautiful scarab is. We are multicolored. We have a lot going on. Magic works through you. They're saying, yes, you know the circulatory system is amazing. Dear God, yes, right? Our physical body is a miracle, all right? But imagine what's going on in the non-physical. Have we any idea? Wouldn't it be a beautiful gift to even try to get to know it a little bit while we're here on earth, to understand it? Because it is our sacred vehicle in many ways. Without the non-physical animating our body would just be like, what would our body be, right? And so Spirit is introducing us or inviting us to get in there like swimwear, and you know swimwear gets in there, okay? So anyway, that's a book, a reading material you can try. There's some other books too if you would like some other what's the word, recommendations, but Spirit is saying that's it, so maybe just that book is what could be pretty cool for right now. All right, so let's take a look at what else is here for us. And remember, if there's something you don't understand, of course you can leave it in the comments below, but remember, everything here, think of it like information that they're bringing through, and you rise up to understand it. So like I always say, look left and right, journal, left and right, talk to your angels and guides, journal the question, go to sleep, wake up the next morning, you'll probably have your answer. Just start that dialogue. Use these opportunities to connect with your spirit friends and family. They're so great. Okay, let me pause and let me see what the actual message is. That is the actual message as well, but if there's anything else coming in particular, hold on. Okie dokes. So Spirit wants to come through and talk about individuality, this concept of individuality. They're saying that we're so diverse in everything that we do. We're so individual. We have such free will. And they're going back to this, the mention earlier about taking cocaine and hard drugs and things like that. They're saying that you have such free will that you're able to do that to yourself as well. But they're saying they respect our abilities and our desires to try things and to do things, right? That's a part of being down here on earth. But they're saying once you kind of have that experience, move on. And I'm seeing this here. It's almost like this looks like those drugs, the cocaine use to whatnot. That's what I'm seeing imprinted here. And then I'm seeing this flower. It's almost like been there, done that. next. And so they're saying, yes, whatever it is that your spirit chooses to do while it's down here, sure, but avoid getting stuck in it and letting that become your primary mode of expression, because they're saying that is not who you are. It's not your mode of expression, even by any way, shape, and form. It's not natural. And so they're saying that open yourself up to creativity in new ways, but be mindful, they're saying. And they're saying the old adage, I say adage, but old adage, I don't know, that is true. The one that says, just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? And so they're saying, it's interesting because I'm seeing this word here. It says creativity is part of your future life. That's what it's written. But what I saw first is creativity is part of your future knife. So it's like, and it brings me back to here with being, so the idea is, yes, in all of our creativity as human beings and getting out there and exercising our individuality and our free will, we are trying to build foundations. We are trying to understand, and we are going to dip into all sorts of things, all sorts of people, all sorts of everything. However, they're saying, know that just because you're expressing yourselves and being creative, it doesn't mean that the expression, the form of expression that you're using, or the creativity that you're choosing to delve into is something that is good for you or is something that should be continued. They're showing that if anything, if you're delving into something that causes you to turn on your family, turn on your friends, to turn on people who love you, and to, they're saying that's it. They're saying that's exactly it. Oh, amen, right? If it's something that causes you to turn on the people you love, it's not a form of expression that you should be engaging in. It's not a friendly form of expression, and it's not natural. Okay, true creativity and expression unites. I know some of you are like, my family's just not open to me becoming a musician. They want me to make music. That's a difference altogether. Okay, that's a difference. I think what Spirit is trying to say is, like, if you're on drugs or you're on some kind of substance that brings out an unhealthy part of you, that brings out the worst in you, and that you hurt other people in your life, and even you feel bad about it and things like that, that's probably an indication that that's not who you really are. And they're saying that's an example for you as to when expression is not, it should be limited, or that form of expression should no longer be continued. And it's hard sometimes to get out of it, right? So I know it could be hard to hear for a lot of us, right? Especially if you've delved or dabbled in your lifetime. But please know that Spirit's not coming through to judgment, because they don't do that, At least not the spirit guides and whatnot that I connect to. They don't judge, but they do point out, and they do keep facts to facts as they see it, right? All right, so let's continue on. Okie dokie, folks. They're coming through and saying that some of you are different, right? We're different from each other. And because I'm seeing scarab beetle and I'm seeing starfish spirit. Oh my God, starfish spirit doesn't come out as often, right? But anyway, I'm seeing the two of them and they look different. And the two look different from white raven spirit. And so what they're saying, and I heard them say 9-inch nails when I was looking at starfish spirit and seeing how different they are. And I was thinking 9-inch nails, the band, right? And they're saying, what they're trying to say, I think, is we're all different. Some of us are so different, but they're saying that that's the beauty. It's our differences that give rise to the different varieties of art that abounds in our world. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm always told I have the weirdest sneezes. Like, it sounds like I'm either laughing, crying, or coughing. Maybe I'm doing both. I don't know when I'm sneezing. Anyway, so they're saying that our differences is what help us to connect, because they're saying we interlock, right? We interlock and we connect. However, also they're showing that our differences are what fuel the different varieties in life. And we interlock, and I felt like guided to say, but I didn't mention it, but I will, because I gotta stay true to what I'm getting. They're saying just like when seeking out a partner, biologically speaking, that's why we don't have desires to mate with our family members, because it's almost like, or somewhat people within our family, because it's almost like on a biological level, we're looking for some DNA that is so different from ours. It stands, when there's mixture, it stands for, it's better for survival in many ways. It makes for a stronger being and in many ways. And at least that's the idea, right? And so they're saying this mixture, this difference in individuality and this creativity, these things come together to create a world that's rich with so much diversity in so many ways. And listen, you guys are on Netflix, right? Now, Netflix is really trying to, I guess understandably, but crack down on sharing passwords and things like that. However, I always maintain that it's kind of cool to share your password with multiple people, because the more people you share your password with, the more rich and fertile your Netflix, what can I call it? Your Netflix, oh my gosh, what's the word? Selection, okay, your Netflix show selection and movie selection will be. It's so diverse because it populates with films and titles that are based on what you've watched. So if you are watching it and it's just you're going to keep getting the same things kind of over and over again, the same genres. But if you introduce 2 more people or 3 more people even, and they're all watching different things, then guess what? When you go in there, you have a greater chance of stepping outside of your usual genres and finding something that's new and entertaining that you probably would never have experienced, right? In a sense, that's why opposites attract, why contrast can feel so good as well as bad. And so anyway, Spirit is coming through to acknowledge our differences and show how those differences and that sense of individuality and free will can lead to all sorts of creativity. But they warn us that just like creativity can be a fun thing, it can also lead to getting stuck in patterns and creative expressions that no longer serve us, is what they're saying. And that they're saying, if we're being honest, never served us at all. Yeah. Okay. So they're saying so, when I react, it's like, They're also saying go beyond the Bible Belt. Ooh, get it, God. I mean, look again, entertainment purposes only. I'm channeling, right? Anyway, they're saying go beyond the Bible Belt. They're saying teach yourself to go beyond the Bible Belt. The training wheels are off, they're saying. And they really have been talking about this non-interference clause with extraterrestrials and how that is coming to an end. And if you do listen to ufologists and you parse through and you hear and you listen to the ones that are calm and collected in the way that they give their information, the way that they go about researching. Always look for the calm and collected ones, the people who are erratic around ufology, the study of UFOs and all that stuff, right? If you go on their website and it's like Christmas tree writing and everything's caps, all caps letters, and everything is exclamation points, listen, I wouldn't talk to you if you were in a market selling me fish. Like, what are we doing? I don't trust you as a source. So they may be saying something credible, who knows, but the way that they're approaching it is going to turn people off, right? And so what I'm trying to say is there's good stuff out there. There are people out there leading the field and helping us to get ready for disclosure when we find out the truth, a lot more of the truth of what's out there. And so I think what Spirit is trying to do, at least through my channels, is to get you to a place where you're thinking for yourself, loving yourself, seeing yourself as sovereign beings, being grounded. And today they're talking about being calm and collected in everything that you do, so that you're not easily thrown off, and so that you can discern, right? So those are important messages, guys. It's very interesting that they're coming through with that kind of message now, because I think that maybe they're seeing something for us soon that I don't know. I'm not seeing, because they tell me. But whether it's, that non-interference clause they're saying is probably going to be up at some point, sooner than we'd like to think, and in which case Earth as a whole will be more open to communicating with non-terrestrial beings in whatever capacity that is. And so we have to start becoming more grounded and more aware of who we are as people and as beings and what we stand for. You know, when the presidency changed and President Trump came into office, what happened is, personally, this is what I think. What happened is it was really a good litmus test for each person to see where their ideals were. What kind of behavior were they willing to align themselves with and associate with and co-sign and sign off on, and you know it's almost like you had to give some things up to get some things. Some people are like, yeah, well, I'm not a racist, for example, but I want someone who tells it like it is, and all sorts of stuff. But you have to also look at not only what people are saying, but how they're saying it. And with the 24 hours in their life, what are we, like fruit flies or something? With the 24 hours in their day, how are they choosing to speak to people? How are they choosing to enliven and activate people? Are they really trying to motivate? Are they really trying to, and you yourself guys, you yourself as well, are you really trying to use your 24 hours to uplift yourself, to share joy with other people, to pass on knowledge, to create opportunities for people to advance in their life, in their thinking, to motivate them, to inspire? What are you doing? What are you doing with those 24 hours? Anytime you go to write something on YouTube or on a napkin or wherever, what are you choosing to write? As I tell my students sometimes during the semester, think about before you turn in your homework assignment. Imagine if I were to, at the end of the end of semester, put all of your homework that you gave me out onto onto the table, every little piece of thing that you submitted, and your parents came in. Would you be ashamed of your work, or would you be proud of it? So we have to take that kind of total macroscopic view of whatever it is that we're doing before we do it, because a lot of times what we end up doing is we just blindly do stuff. And I think and we blindly say things, we blindly go about life trampling on other people. And I think when Trump came into office, it really caused a lot of people, remember at the very beginning, a lot of CEOs all the way up to CEOs, people all the way on the ground level, like the rest of us as well, had to choose some kind of allegiance. They had to ask themselves, all right, this person's president, but how much of what this person is saying am I okay with? And usually it's just us people on the ground that get exposed. But remember, a lot of CEOs were starting to, be noticed. A lot of people were like, well, you as a company, who are you siding with? What are you siding with? And consumers spoke up based on what those CEOs said and did in response to that question. And so, long story short, because I hope that made sense, I think that going into the future, we have to start getting clear with ourselves, getting into integrity with ourselves, and asking ourselves realistically, what is it that I stand for? What are my principles? Where is my cognitive dissonance very wide? And so cognitive dissonance is that distance that exists between what you believe yourself to be, or what you believe of the world to be, and what it actually is. What do you demonstrate? So some people will be like, I'm a great driver, but then they're failing to see where they're actually texting while they're driving, and they're not putting their seatbelt on, and they're making erratic moves. That's cognitive dissonance. You're separate. You're not aware of what it is you're actually doing. And so we are being called to take a step forward and to really come into consciousness about who we are, what it is that we believe, what it is that we're willing to put actions behind. So no more just words, put actions behind those words and live through your convictions. And so from that place of sovereignty and building that foundation, we're going to be meeting the future head on. And when we start to become introduced to people who are beings that are either in the non-physical or, off earth, off world, and they're here, what are we going to be like? Who are we, right? And so right now, it's good to start knowing who you are in general. It will help you to get to know yourself, and it'll help you to get to know your neighbor a little better, your community, people from different states, different countries, all sorts of stuff. Let's start domestically. All right. Anyway, I hope this made sense, guys. It was really rambling, but God bless. I just deliver. What does this card say? Flow. Okay. Let's just read this last card, flow. It says, the flower of your being begins to bloom when you move with the flow of life. This is a process of letting go, moving your consciousness out of your mind and into your body mind, or shaman center, which is an inch or two below your level. Oh, got it. Okay, sorry. I read that kind of not with the right intonation. Anyway, feel your receptivity as you become still. Watch the waterfall flow as if you were the mountain high above it. Be serene, at ease, and totally within your power. Then let the waterfall of life work for you, becoming like a twig carried on its rushing surface. Become one with the water, dissolving the senses of your mind and living totally in your instinctual nature. Let go and relax into the eternal flow. I love that. This card lets us know that it doesn't matter what tomorrow brings. It doesn't matter what yesterday brought, and it doesn't matter what is here now. At the end of the day, whether or not you quote-unquote succeed in whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, time will continue. The flow of energy will continue. Creation will continue. Cycles will continue. It just will always flow. And so there's a certain sense of, I guess, comfort in that. And so we just aspire to become better stewards of ourselves and of our time. And in so doing, we stay in the present moment. But know that even if in the present moment you find yourself to feel inadequate or be shown to be inadequate by somebody who, just know that even this too shall pass, right? Anyway, guys, I will end this call here. And, of course, God bless you guys. I enjoy doing these calls. And I think it'll get even better once I get back home. Yay, to the States, yay. And get settled again. If you guys would like to have personal readings, please do reach out. If you'd like to donate, my information's in the box below. And if you have a question you'd like to email, please go ahead and do that. Some of you are still waiting for a response from me. You reached out to me, and please know that I definitely do see it. If I'm not responding to you right away, it's not because I didn't see it or I don't care. It's not true. I'm just catching up on a lot of stuff, and this week's been very hectic at work, okay? So anyway, God bless you guys, and our angels are coming in. Ooh, do you guys feel that energy? Ooh, I feel that. Okay, let's just receive that for a second. That feels very white, almost fluorescent white. Ooh, thank you, thank you. Aw, they're so sweet. They're so sweet. Even if you can't hear them or you can't feel the energy, guys, just be in a receptive mode. They're bringing it in. I'm seeing them drop in some gold chunks as well. It almost looks like gold, like pre-Columbian, I don't know, designs, but in gold. And it's just dropping in, and it's just beautiful. It's like melting into us, and we're just covered in this fluorescent white light in a very pristine angelic way. It's angelic energy that I'm feeling, and it feels really good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I just heard, may all of your cars be free of charge. Okay. Maybe that's for somebody, but listen, we can all use a free ride. That could mean anything. Who knows, right? Thank you. All right. So anyway, and they're saying, trust us, we're here to help, okay? Okay. Alright guys, so I'm going to end the video now and just keep feeling this energy. It feels really good. Alright. Bye. Mwah.